Antonio Gibson is on his way to being one of the best running backs, and not just one of the best running backs, a top 10 running back in 2021. I'm a big fan of Antonio Gibson. Before the season even started, I said, with Adrian Peterson being released, you got guys like J.D. McKissick, Antonio Gibson are probably going to get the bulk of the carries for the Washington football team. And the rookie has 11 touchdowns this year, and quite frankly, 720 rushing yards, and he's just, I think he's a guy that this Washington football team is going to build on. Also has 35 catches this year for over 240 yards. Doesn't have a touchdown in that regard, but when you consider the fact of how much the Washington football team had to deal with Dwayne Haskins, Alex Smith, I'm so happy that he's back. I'm so ecstatic. There's just a lot of things that you have to consider with this football team and what they've had to go through, and I'm so happy that they have found a way to be able to come out of the cellar and compete for a spot in the playoffs in their division. They are absolutely, in my opinion, I think the Washington football team next year, when they've got things figured out, they're also a team to watch. I mean, the whole division. I mean, it's the NFC East is an interesting division. I'll say that. But I will say that I think they could play with anybody next year. When you think about that, again, when you think about that defense, like we just mentioned, in our Chase Young and Montez Sweat video, I truly believe that this team, the Washington football team, could be a top team in the NFC, at least like a top 4 team in the next 2 to 3 years. If they get the quarterback position figured out, I know Alex Smith is still an effective quarterback. I think they should definitely draft a guy in the future. But for right now, he's good enough to get the job done. They've got offensive pieces. Terry McLaurin continues to be one of the most underrated wide receivers of all time. I don't care what anybody says. I got a lot of love for this man. Over 1,000 yards this year, 80 catches and 3 touchdowns. Logan Thomas, who I said was going to break out at the beginning of the season. Look what this man has done. 69 catches, 633 yards, and 5 touchdowns this year. And especially when you get some competent quarterback play in there, it's amazing what can happen. But no, I definitely believe this Washington football team is going to be something to definitely watch for. Taylor Heineke, I don't know if he's the answer, but he played well in relief of Haskins. But I truly believe this team it's on its way. It's a team that you're going to have to watch out for in the future. And truthfully, with Antonio Gibson, I think next year that just leads in again. He's going to be one of the top running backs as early as 2021. And if it's not next year, it's going to be in the future, 2022 and beyond, because he's the real deal. And clearly the Washington football team has a lot of faith in him. They use him a lot. And plus, they've got a lot of other weapons that take the attention away from him. Their offensive line isn't as bad as the Vikings, but it's not as bad as a lot of people give it credit for. But I truly believe that J.D. McKissick and Antonio Gibson are guys that could they be in the conversation for maybe the best running back duo in the entire NFL? Maybe. But for right now, I'm gonna come out and say again that Antonio Gibson will be a top 10 running back as early as next season in 2021. Mark it down.